Insights on Antony Lewis's The Basics of Bitcoins and Blockchains, narrated by Paul Bartlett. Overview. The Basics of Bitcoins and Blockchains, 2018, provided an introduction to Bitcoins, blockchains, and the technology that powers them. Antony Lewis explains the history of Bitcoin, the Bitcoin blockchain, and Bitcoin buying and selling. Whether or not you believe in the long-term viability of cryptocurrencies, this industry is certainly delivering potentially radical instruments of change for society. Whether these tools will be used for good or evil depends on how the technology is implemented, by whom, and for what purpose. Amid the hype, it is crucial to understand that the blockchain industry, including cryptocurrencies, is very much still in its early stages. Insights from Chapter 1. 1. The most widely accepted academic definition of money states that it should fulfill three functions: a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account. 2. A medium of exchange means money is a payment mechanism used to pay someone for something or to pay off a debt or financial obligation. 3. A store of value means that in the near term, your money should be worth either the same as it is today or worth more so you can become richer. 4. A unit of account means that money is something that you can use to compare the value of two items or to count up the total value of your assets. 5. As a medium of exchange, Bitcoin is considered the first digital asset of value that can be transferred over the internet without the involvement or approval of any third parties. 6. As a speculative investment, Bitcoin has performed amazingly well. In 2009, Bitcoin started at zero value. Now, each Bitcoin is worth thousands of dollars. 7. However, you shouldn't move all of your savings into Bitcoin because of its price volatility and lack of stability, which makes it a horrible store of value. Moreover, it is not clear whether the price volatility of Bitcoin will decrease anytime soon. 8. As a unit of account, Bitcoin fails miserably due to its price volatility against the US dollar and everything else in the world. The fact that there are almost no merchants who are willing to price items in Bitcoins is evidence that Bitcoins are not a good unit of account. 9. Fiat currency is money that is completely delinked from any valuable thing. It is money because legislation says so. All major recognizable sovereign currencies now are fiat. Governments accept only their own fiat for tax payments. This gives fiat currencies fundamental usefulness, as almost everyone needs to pay tax. 10. However, whatever form money takes, it gets weakened either through debasement or by excessive creation until a certain limit. Then there is a reform. The history of money is characterized by its failures. Inflation, dilution, debasement, recoining, and creation of new tokens worth less and less all happen frequently. 11. Moreover, both cryptocurrencies and fiat currencies have no intrinsic value. Yet fiat currency is still accepted in exchange for goods and services because people trust the central bank to keep the value of money stable over time. However, the truth is that intrinsic value doesn't really matter. 12. What's more important is how useful an asset is. Fiat currency is useful because it is the settlement instrument with which you pay your taxes to the state, and more broadly, because it is accepted as a settlement mechanism to meet a financial obligation. 13. It is not very clear whether fiat currency is the best solution to money or whether it will continue to survive, given the confidence that people have in today's governments. Some believe that we have new challenges to our way of doing business in the form of cryptocurrencies. 14. Although we have arguably better tools and technology now than at any previous point in time, humans are still humans and will do what they can to gain and hold on to power and wealth, often making the same mistakes as their predecessors. 15. In the long term, what matters most is the stability of the financial system. It is still unclear whether the widespread use of cryptocurrencies and related self-executing financial products will give rise to the new financial vulnerabilities and systemic risks. Close monitoring of any changes will be needed. Insights from Chapter 2. 1. It is worth understanding how digital money is currently used to settle debts and how money moves around the financial system. We easily understand physical payments that are made directly when you pay in cash for something without a third-party intermediary. The cash payment is also resistant to censorship. 2. However, things get a bit more complicated in the digital world. Digital assets are easy to copy, unlike physical cash. 3. With a digital asset, the receiver can't be sure that you won't delete it once you have sent it to them. And they can't tell if you have sent or will send a copy of the file to a different person. This problem with digital assets is called the double spend problem. 4. Wikipedia defines double spending as a potential flaw in a digital cash scheme in which the same single digital token can be spent more than once. This is possible because a digital token consists of a digital file that can be duplicated or falsified. 5. The digital money world deals with double spending by using a bookkeeper who is an independent third party. This third party is regulated and can be trusted to maintain accurate books and records and to follow certain rules. PayPal is one example. 6. How does digital money move from one bank account to another? There are 4 scenarios for interbank payments: same bank payments, different bank payments, cross-border payments with the same currency, and foreign exchange. 7. There are 2 main ways a bank can digitally pay another bank. The first is by using correspondent bank accounts. The problem with this is that for every new bank in the system, a new bank account needs to be opened to participate in digital payments. 8. The second way is by using a central bank payment system. A central bank is more efficient since it enables banks in its jurisdiction to pay each other electronically without each of them having to maintain accounts with one another. 9. When it comes to single currency transfers, currencies in their electronic form do not leave their domestic currency zone. However, they can be created and exist outside of their domestic zones or home jurisdictions. Examples are euro currencies. 10. When it comes to transfers of foreign currencies, it's important to understand that assets and currencies cannot and do not magically transform from one type to another. A third party is required who is prepared to accept one currency and give you the other. 11. In recent years, digital wallets have become popular. They are usually smartphone apps that allow customers to open accounts. PayPal and Venmo are 2 of the most popular wallets in the USA. 12. The rise of wallets has caused some concern for banks, partly due to their focus on delivering a superior user experience. Banks are losing relevance with their customers in some jurisdictions and are losing data and revenue from payments. Insights from Chapter 3. 1. To understand Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, you need to understand a few concepts from a branch of mathematics called cryptography. 2. Cryptography is about sending secret messages that can be read only by the intended recipient. It is the stuff that spies use. It is used extensively to protect data that travels across the internet. 3. Encryption and decryption are the encoding and decoding of messages. Encryption is the process of turning plain text, a readable human message, into ciphertext, a jumbled text, so that if the encrypted message is intercepted, a snooper can't understand it. 4. Decryption is the process of turning ciphertext back into plain text. Breaking the ciphertext means working out how to decrypt it without being given the key. 5. There are 2 types of cryptography: symmetric and asymmetric. 6. Symmetric cryptography involves the use of the same key in both the encryption and decryption stages. In a world where our devices are constantly initiating connections with new websites, using a symmetric key and sharing it between your device and the website can be very unsafe. 7. Asymmetric cryptography involves the use of a different but mathematically linked keys, a public key and a private key. You can share your public key with the world, and anyone can use it to encrypt messages for you. You use your private key, known only to you, to decrypt these messages. 8. Bitcoin uses an asymmetric scheme called ECDSA, Elliptic Curve Digital Signature Algorithm. It works by picking a random number within a specific range to act as your private key, and then doing some ECDSA math on it to generate a public key. 9. Bitcoin accounts are derivatives of public keys, and when you make a Bitcoin transaction, you use your private key to sign or authorize the transaction, which moves Bitcoins from your account to someone else's. 10. Digital signatures are used extensively in Bitcoin and blockchains for creating valid transactions. You sign transaction messages to move coins from your account to someone else's. A digital signature is created by taking the message you want to sign and applying a mathematical formula with your private key. 11. Anyone who knows your public key can mathematically verify that this signature was indeed created by the holder of the associated private key. 12. A digital signature is only valid for an exact piece of data, so it cannot be copied and pasted underneath another piece of data, nor can someone else reuse it for their own purposes. Any tampering with the message will result in the signature being invalidated. 13. Digital signatures are used in blockchain transactions because they prove account ownership, and the validity of a digital signature can be proven mathematically and offline, without asking any other party. Insights from Chapter 4. 1. People refer to Bitcoin as a digital currency, virtual currency, or cryptocurrency, but it may be easier to think of it as an electronic asset. 2. Bitcoins are digital assets whose ownership is recorded on an electronic ledger that is updated simultaneously on about 10,000 independently operated computers around the world that connect with each other. The ledger is called Bitcoin's blockchain. 3. Transactions that record the transfer of ownership of those coins are created and validated according to a protocol. The protocol is implemented by an app that participants run on their computers. The machines running the apps are called nodes of the network. 4. Each node independently validates all pending transactions wherever they arise and updates its own record of the ledger with validated blocks of confirmed transactions. Specialist nodes, called miners, bundle together valid transactions into blocks and distribute those blocks to nodes across the network. 5. Anyone can buy, own, and sell bitcoins. Every Bitcoin transaction is recorded and shared publicly in plain text on Bitcoin's blockchain. Bitcoin's blockchain is not encrypted. By design, everyone sees all details of all transactions. 6. Bitcoin is described by Satoshi Nakamoto, is presumed but pseudonymous creator, as a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic money that allows payments without a third party. In other words, data is sent directly and not via a central server. 7. For the first time in history, we have a system that can send value from A to B without the physical movement of items or use of specific third-party intermediaries. Bitcoin is designed to be censorship-resistant digital cash. This is a very important milestone in the evolution of payments. 8. Bitcoin is digital, but it works more like physical cash. When you make a Bitcoin payment, you say, "Take this bundle of money that came into my account in this transaction and pay some of it to this account and return the change to me." Insights from Chapter 5. 1. Terminology is evolving quickly. While Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies are all referred to as digital tokens in a generic sense, a distinction now seems to be emerging between cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and tokens, which can mean different things depending on the context in which they are used. 2. A token is essentially something that is issued by an issuer and can be used in a specific context under specific conditions or timing. The token has value because the context gives it value, but if you take the token outside the context, the value decreases or falls to 0. 3. The characteristics of different types of tokens vary widely, and generalizations lead to confusion. Tokens can be divided into 3 distinct categories. 4. First, we have native blockchain tokens, which are essential for the underlying blockchain to work. Native tokens are usually the incentive for block creators to do their work. Cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, are usually native tokens. Nothing backs these native tokens. They just exist and have value. 5. Second, we have asset-backed tokens, which represent title or ownership to some real-world asset held in trust by a custodian. Financial assets are nothing but agreements between parties, usually an issuer and the owner of the asset. The key risk of such tokens is that the issuer must remain solvent. 6. Third, we have utility tokens, which represent a claim on a service provided by the issuer of the token. The holder of utility token can redeem the token from a specific entity for a product or service rather than for an asset. 7. Tracking real-world items by using a digital overlay is difficult. While blockchains can increase certain aspects of transparency in a supply chain, they are not foolproof. After all, blockchains only record what someone tells them to record. Therefore, a wide adoption of blockchain technologies can be quite difficult. Insights from Chapter 6. 1. The phrase blockchain technology, or commonly just blockchain, can be confusing because different people use the words to mean different things. 2. If you like hierarchies, blockchains fall under the broader category of distributed ledgers. All blockchains are distributed ledgers, but you can have distributed ledgers that don't have blocks of data chained together and broadcast to all participants. 3. Blockchain technologies are the rules or standards for how a ledger is created and maintained. Different technologies have different rules for participation, different network rules, different specifications for how to create transactions, different methods of storing data, and different consensus mechanisms. 4. You can run blockchain software on a private network. However, you cannot mine from a private blockchain and transfer the tokens to the public network. Although private networks would use the same set of rules as the public blockchain, they have different records of account balances. 5. Public and private blockchains run within different contexts and ecosystems and are designed to address different problems, so they will naturally operate in different ways. Technology is a tool, and tools exist to serve a need. If the needs are different, then the tools will be different. 6. Blockchains usually contain the following concepts: data storage that records changes in the data, replication of the data storage across several systems in real time, peer-to-peer rather than client-server network architecture, and cryptography methods such as digital signatures to prove ownership and authenticity. 7. Blockchains are not a new invention, but they put together existing technologies to create new capabilities. Blockchain technology can be described as a bag of Legos. You can take different bricks out of the bag and put them together in different ways to create different results. 8. A common database is a system that simply stores and retrieves data. A blockchain platform is more than that. It stores and retrieves existing data just as a normal database does. 9. A blockchain also connects to peers and listens for new data, validates new data against pre-agreed rules, then stores and broadcasts the new data to other network participants to ensure that they all share the same updated data. And it does so constantly, without manual intervention. 10. Private blockchains have been inspired by public blockchains, but are being designed to meet the needs of business. Private blockchains aim to increase the quality and security of technology used in business-to-business communications. They allow unique digital assets to move freely and reliably between companies without a third-party intermediary. Insights from Chapter 7. 1. Initial coin offerings, or ICOs, sometimes called token sales or token generation events, are a new way for companies to raise money without diluting ownership or having to pay investors back. ICOs are a combination of existing forms of fundraising with a few twists. 2. The term ICO seems to have been coined to evoke the more well-known IPO, which is initial public offering of equities. In an equity raise, investors pay money to the company in return for a share of ownership in the company. 3. Companies describe a particular product or service in a document called a white paper and announce their ICO. Investors send funds, usually cryptocurrencies, to the company in return for tokens or a promise of tokens in the future. 4. The tokens usually represent either financial securities linked to the success of the project or access to a product or service created by the venture. Eventually, a product or service is created, and in the case of utility tokens, holders may spend their tokens on the product or service. 5. Projects will often create more tokens than are sold in token sales, keeping some in reserve. These reserves may be used to reward founders, pay staff or contractors, or stabilize the price of the tokens on exchanges. Insights from Chapter 8. 1. There are multiple things to consider before deciding whether investing in crypto assets is right for you. There are many risks, but the markets are exciting and people have made and lost fortunes in them. 2. The prices of cryptocurrencies and tokens behave like any other financial asset, driven by buyers and sellers who make trading decisions based on various factors. 3. Such factors include how traders feel about the asset, gossip on forums, technical upgrades, technical failures, celebrity endorsements, founders getting arrested, and manipulation by large holders of any particular token. 4. Prices can also change as a result of people coordinating to all buy a coin together to make the price go up and persuading others to buy it at a higher price, then selling the coins to unsuspecting new buyers. 5. Crypto asset prices are volatile and many have fallen to zero. Although this scenario may seem less likely for popular cryptocurrencies, it is still very possible due to factors such as time, a significant hack, or exploited vulnerability. 6. Liquidity risk is the risk that the market cannot support your transaction at the price you expect. With less popular coins or coins of regulatory uncertainty, the liquidity risk is connected to the delisting of currencies on exchanges. 7. It's convenient to keep assets on exchanges because you don't have to deal with private keys, and you can quickly trade between assets. However, nearly all exchanges have been hacked. Moreover, many exchanges are often dodgy, and you need to do proper research before trusting them. We hope you enjoyed the insights on Antony Lewis's The Basics of Bitcoins and Blockchains. Purchase the book to learn more.
If you like this video, hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Visit instaread.co to get more insights from this and thousands of other books. Use the code YouTube to get a discount on your subscription.